Hi, my name's David Harris. This is one more in the series of Just One More Solution, which deals with the experience, performance and results we have got for businesses. In this particular case, the business size was relatively small, about a $1 million revenue business. It was a single physical store and it had minimal online presence. And in regional Australia, working in a very highly competitive industry. The business was facing a series of issues. The first problem was that they had just recently rebranded from one franchise to another. So the idea was that it would provide an improvement and access to a wider range of suppliers and improve pricing. The reality was a bit different. What they saw was, after a number of months, was a rapid decline in their margin and profitability, and the inability to be competitive on many brands. The complications were that they had revenue was strong because they continued to continue the retail pricing, but their margin was horrific. The stock performance, that is the number of stock turns they were getting, was above the industry average. And so understanding what was really going on in the pricing dynamics behind the scenes to see, who was or what was causing all this profit erosion was where we put our focus for them. So we really started out with a gap analysis and say, okay, what suppliers, what verticals, what ranges, what particular lines were causing problems, and we compared that to a number of their competitors. So we're able to get competitor pricing at wholesale level, and we benchmarked that against their pricing. And what we established was that there were a number of suppliers, not a lot, but enough of big volume suppliers that created this significant margin collapse in their game. And so then the negotiation started about how, in fact, do we rectify this collapse? How do we top up the missing margin, if you like, and profitability? And how do you address this ongoing? Because if it's not addressed, then there is really no sustainable business going forward. So the upshot of the game was that, having established the significant margins, and we could, beyond a shadow of a doubt, prove the sort of other competitors' pricing and so on, the supplier agreed to repay the previous 3 months' lost margins. We negotiated a significant increase in the trading terms back to roughly where they were pre the 3 or 4 months before, and we also resulted in a national deal for their buying group, where it increased the gross margin by $1.5 million across the suppliers on just one supplier. So this piece of work, whilst it was, for one, ended up helping 100. So it's often in these strategic reviews, you're never very sure what you can find, but I always urge potential clients, don't worry about the cost, because far often, many more times, you're likely to find that the income exceeds the cost. That is, the ability to find and benchmark the gaps and fix the gaps well and truly covers any cost that might be there that is paid to a consultant. Just one more solution. Thank you very much for listening.